Good morning. 29th September 2025 is the day campaigns officially kick off for the journey to the 2026 general elections. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni shall launch today at Munyonyo thereafter move to his first campaign rally at Luwero, where the NRM started, and that is representing the NRM party. Kyagulanyi Robert Sentamu of the NUP party starts today at Jinja. Robert Kasimante of NPP starts today at Mitiana. James Nathan Nandela Mafabi of FDC starts today at Buyikwe. Mubarak Munyagwa Serwanga starts at today at Kawempe. CMP is the party that he represents. And Bujisha Muntu of ANT starts tomorrow at Kawempe. Bulira Frank Kabinga of RPP starts tomorrow at Luka. And Mabirizi Joseph of CP starts tomorrow at Chiboga, who will be the next president of Uganda 2026 into 2031. We're here to bring all of that to you. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. Good morning, Uganda. You are watching UBC TV from Nile Avenue, and alongside me is Robert Chirabu Nyonyintono. Good morning, Robert.
A lovely morning to you, Julie, and of course, viewer. Thank you very much for waking up with us. I love the color inside your jacket.
Oh, wow. Come on, Robert.
I just said I love the color inside your jacket.
By the time you say that, it means that there's a thing behind a thing. But
no, colors were there before anything.
I know.
We just clinged on what looked better for us.
I am not adding soup or any spices to that conversation, but what have you been looking at?
I also love the facial expression while giving me a reply.
Interesting.
Well, the weekend was very interesting. For some of us who dare to take foot to Munyonyo and witness His Excellency, the NRM candidate, launch a song.
An album, a whole
album. Launch an album, sorry, not a song. Launch an album. And we believe this music will go a long way during campaigns, because these songs have been translated into a number of local languages for Ugandans, and of course knowing that Luwero is the mecca of NRM, and that's where they're going to launch their campaigns. These are songs that the people of Luwero will really enjoy first before a number of Ugandans, most of those that want in Munyonyo. But also the president coming out and promising funding to some of these creatives, these artists, was something very good, and some revelation regarding also Edilisa Musuza, how he's done a very good job, and commending him. You know, it's good when we thank people while they're still alive, appreciating them and telling them thank you for the good work you've done. You've been able to do what some had not been able to do. But also knowing that we are entering yet another critical time. Let me tell you, Julie, and the Ugandans viewing us, elections have phases. And we can thank the Lord He's brought us safe thus far.
Right.
Now, the remaining part is the hardest. You know, nomination, identifying a candidate, those could have issues. But between today and January, when the campaigns are going to close, the campaign season is another trying moment that we go through. We have to call upon Ugandans to be very focused, to remain calm, desist from being exploited, more so you the youth, because people know you have the energies. So don't be exploited. What happens here, for you they arrest you, you go to Chitalia Ruzira. Some of these were just driven and taken back home and spending nights with their families. So don't be used. But I also want to call upon the politicians. Let's not look for sympathy votes, though they matter so much. Let's not use violence as a campaign tool. But also to the security agencies. You know, you're not robots to our police. No, you're humans. And you have a sense of judgment. Use that sense of judgment very well. Don't get excited. I saw a scene, I think it was in Mbale, where, you know, these young boys were moving with something containing a poster of Bobby Wine. They were moving, driving their thing through town, not attacking anybody. Then I don't know what befell police officer, he came inside tearing it, you know. He wanted to exchange. His security cocked guns, removed a pistol. In law, there is in every enforcement where you have to use your sense of judgment, where certain things are at your discretion. Please use your sense of judgment very well. Be professional. There are incidents where violence can be prevented, but sometimes the people manning those specific scenes in terms of commanding go overboard. So let's have another sense away from what your profession are trained to do, that you can judge right and say, here I don't need to use force. Here maybe we better go away. Here we have to push harder, because this is a very hard time, not in Uganda alone. Remember Trump during campaigns, he survived assassinations. For us, we do not have that. What we have is usually clashes between police and supporters of a certain candidate. We pray this time we will not get to that.
Indeed, and it's possible for it to get to that as long as we all abide by the fact that Uganda is for God and then for us afterwards. For he has given it to us as stewards, so let's take caution and be good stewards, be the best of stewards. As the Holy Books say that to whom much is given, much is expected. Uganda has been given to you, myself and Robert and everyone else. That means that each one of us has a part to play, and we must be good stewards if we are to be added to what already is. Robert, what do we have on the local scene?
Well, we begin with President Yoweri Museveni launching the Yoweri Music Album, a collection of beats to energize his campaigns ahead of 2026 general elections. During the launch at Speak Resort Munyonyo, President Museveni pledged to support various artist savings groups with 20 billion shillings in the coming year. The evening of Saturday, September 28th was a night to remember, as hundreds of creatives gathered at Speak Resort Munyonyo to launch 13 songs in major Ugandan languages. Led by the President of Uganda Musicians Associations, Eddie Kenzo, the songs were produced in variety of local languages: Luganda, Runyankore, Acholi, Rusoga, Rumasaba, Rugbar, and Alu. During the launch, President Museveni acknowledged that the government had not been investing enough in the creative industry. He commended the artists and praised Eddie Kenzo's honesty and organizational efforts. He pledged to support their saving groups with 20 billion shillings starting next year. The President of Uganda Musicians Association, also Presidential Advisor on Creatives, Eddie Kenzo, pledged continued efforts to organize the entertainment industry and to rally supporters for President Museveni in the 2026 general elections. As presidential campaigns start today, September 29th, the music will be used to energize President Museveni's campaign rallies. President Museveni met a team of scientists and members of the innovation support ecosystem, led by Dr. Monica Mosenero, Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation at State House in Entebbe. The scientists briefed the President on the progress towards the National Resistance Movement, NRM's vision of transforming Uganda into a science-led modern economy. They highlighted achievements in the manufacturing of electronic vehicles, production of diagnostic tools, standardization of natural medicine, and innovations in machine building technologies. President Museveni commended the scientists for their role in national transformation, assuring them of continued government support for their efforts. On human capital, the President said Uganda must harness its traditional knowledge, mechanize it, and standardize it in order to create wealth and prosperity. Dr. Mosenero said her team has embraced a science-led approach to development. The NRM National Mobilizer, Dr. Rosemary Seninde, and the party Deputy Secretary General Rosemary Namayanja Nsereko appealed to residents of Luwero to gather in big numbers and welcome President Museveni as he officially launches his campaign ahead of the nationwide vote hunting tour. The two leaders met NRM leaders in different parts of Luweero, beginning with Katikamu North, where they held talks with village-level leaders and committee members. Local leaders reported to Dr. Seninde that some individuals have been vandalizing President Museveni's posters and banners. The leaders also appealed to Luweero residents to show up in large numbers on Tuesday to welcome the president. Dr. Seninde urged residents to elect leaders of their choice wisely. She outlined President Museveni's campaign trail, beginning at the Bwayise stopover, where citizens are expected to line the streets to welcome him, and called on Luweero residents to participate. Honorable Rosemary Namayanja also told residents that it is a privilege for Luweero to host the president's campaign launch. Now that brings us to the end of our local stories this morning. Let Julie take us to the rest of the world.
Right, and looking at what we have the rest of the world, we are starting off with India, a country that is equally having experiencing an election season just as we are. At least 40 people were killed and more than 50 were injured in a crowd crash in Tamil Nadu on Saturday as thousands of people rushed to see Vijay, a renowned Indian actor who has turned to politics. Footage shows supporters gathering around a large campaign vehicle, pressing forward with Vijay aboard on top addressing the crowd. The rally was part of Vijay's tour for his party, Tamilaga Vetri Kazhagam, ahead of state elections in early 2026. Police said that the crowd had waited for hours without enough food or water before he arrived at about 1940 local time. Quote unquote, "My heart is broken. I am in unbearable, indescribable pain and sorrow. I extend my deepest condolences to the families of my dear brothers and sisters who lost their lives in Karur," the actor turned politician said in a social media post. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin announced that 1 million rupees, that's about $11,280, will be provided for each victim's family in compensation for the incident, adding that an inquiry panel has been set up. Previous rallies by his party have also faced safety issues as 6 deaths were reported during its launch last October. May the souls of the victims rest in peace. And I believe many of them were there for the celebrity moment, not the political matter.
Now the challenge there is many go for the entertainment, not for the content being spoken by those campaigning.
Right. Anyways, let's move on. Tens of thousands of pro-Palestinian demonstrators marched through central Berlin on Saturday under the banner of All Eyes on Gaza movement, calling for an immediate end to the Israel-Hamas war. Footage showed protesters waving Palestinian flags, carrying signs and banners, and chanting as they passed landmarks such as the Victory Column and Berlin Cathedral. Police reported several scuffles during the rally, including clashes where demonstrators shouted, "Shame on you," as officers pursued individuals. Participants voiced anger over the humanitarian toll in Gaza. Now, both the Palestinians and Israelis are not the leaders and Now, both the Palestinians and Israelis are not the leaders, are not such tango dancers in terms of their vibe, you know, and that's a shame. This was a statement shared by a protester. And another quote, "It's a genocide in this movement. So for me, peace is a little bit childish word. It's a little bit of a childish word in this moment. Let's stop this and then we'll speak about peace," added another protester. Others criticized Western nations' support for Israel, accusing them of being part of the war. Germany, quote unquote, Germany has checkered history in regard to several moral questions, and I think Germany is struggling with that. But on top of that, they are part of the Western lead that is working to keep a base in the Middle East for their own geopolitical premises, pointed out another protester. According to police, around 50,000 people joined the march, with 1,800 officers deployed to oversee the demonstration. Now, away from the Asian continent alongside Europe, let's come to Africa. Egyptian strongman Ashraf Mohammed Suleiman, also known as Kabonga, attempted to set a world record after pulling a 700-ton ship using only his teeth in Hurghada on Saturday. Now, footage shows Kabonga preparing for the attempt as a crowd cheered for the wrestler. He can also be seen pulling the ship with his teeth using ropes. Quote unquote, today I set a new record by pulling a 700-ton ship, surpassing the previous Ukrainian record held by Oleg Skevich of 614 tons, Kabonga stated. Guinness World Records adjudicator Mohammed El Nakib confirmed the attempt, saying that Kabonga accomplished the feat in 2 attempts. This accomplishment adds to the legacy of Kabonga, who holds 3 Guinness World Records, showcasing his extraordinary feats of strength, including the heaviest locomotive pulled, a 279-ton train, and a subway car. Interesting the things we choose to live for. I think Kabonga's purpose of living is the Guinness World Book of Records. I mean, this is the 3rd record he's pulling off. But we do credit Viori News for giving us this update as the source from which we've got this news on the global scene. It's that time we get to look at what we have in the press today, Robert.
Well, looking at the Daily Monitor this morning, Uganda Airlines faces plane pains. What that is, the Daily Monitor has more. Now, how dogs are helping trauma survivors heal. Dialysis unit in Chigezi eases burden for kidney patients. Still, we look at on the road. Could Uganda be East Africa's next e-mobility hub? Now, the Lizard comes in response to that and says, not with the current power outages. So, then a former bailiff boss refunds stolen 100 million. And pause how presidential candidates chose maiden districts. Now, Judy, take us through East Africa, the rest of the 2 countries.
Well, looking at, starting with the Citizen has a headline there, and that is what tightening of creative economy oversight means. That is a headline there, and Tanzania's creative economy is undergoing a major transformation, with barbers, hairdressers, photographers, graphic designers, painters, and other creative professionals now required to register with the National Arts Council in order to operate legally. Even a barber? Okay. Anyways, that is what's happening in Tanzania, but also still in the Citizen, Othman pledges to formalize seafood industry in Zanzibar. And a bit of sports there. Football, Simba join Yanga in next round of CAF tournament. So just below the headline is another story, revealed impact of harmful social media content on children, and experts warn that children are increasingly exposed to inappropriate sexual advice and content on social media platforms that can confuse, mislead, or even harm their mental and emotional development. Another story there, construction of Bagamoyo port will start soon, says Samia. And the price Tanzanian youth pay seeking greener pastures in South Africa. That is in the Citizen. And looking at the Daily Nation in Kenya, the headline there is new battle on Ruto policies. Looking at housing levy, corruption task force, victims compensation, SHIF deductions, all of that, that is the social health insurance fund, all of that, new battle on Ruto politics. Staff Wars executive has often attacked judiciary over court orders. Still in the Daily Nation, horror crash kills 13 on Nakuru-Nairobi highway. Also in there is farmers' fury as tea bonus shrinks across regions. All of that in the Daily Nation. Robert, what do we have in the Gazette today?
Well, in the Gazette this morning, we look at Oath. That is the Uganda Gazette this morning as of 26th of September. Now here we have the Act notices, that is the Mining and Minerals Act notice, the Marriage Act notice, the Education, Pre-Primary and Post-Primary Act notice, the Advocate Act notice, the Companies Act notice, and also the Electricity Act notice, the Tax Procurers Code, tax stamp, and we have the Police, that is Control of Private Security Organizations Regulation notice, then the Trademarks Act regulation of application as well. Now we look at the commissions for Oath, and here the name we have, that is, be it known that on the 10th day of September 2025, that is Aineriko Shema, the advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be a commissioner for Oath under the above mentioned act for as long as she continues to participate as such an advocate and commission is not revoked. Well, that is some of the content in the Gazette this morning.
Right, and thank you, Robert, for that update. On that note, let's have a short break as you enjoy some music. One, to start your week, not weekend, but your week with a positive mindset, and that is the Victory Chant by Samsung. Just after the break, we'll be having a conversation looking into the NRM Manifesto 2026-2031. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should save and ask all the questions that are on your mind, asking them to Honorable Richard Todong, the Secretary General of the NRM Party. Good morning. Enjoy the song.
Live.
Good morning. 29th September 2025 is the day campaigns officially kick off for the journey to the 2026 general elections. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni shall launch today at Munyonyo after move to his first campaign rally at Luwero, where the NRM started, and that is representing the NRM party. Chagulanyi Robert Sentamu of the NUP party starts today at Jinja. Robert Kasimante of NPP starts today at Mitiana. James Nathan Nandela Mafabi of FDC starts today at Buyikwe. Mubarak Munyagwa Serwanga starts at today at Kawempe. CMP is the party that he represents, and Bujisha Muntu of ANT starts tomorrow at Kawempe. Bulira Frank Kabinga of RPP starts tomorrow at Luka, and Mabirizi Joseph of CP starts tomorrow at Chiboga, who will be the next president of Uganda 2026 into 2031. We're here to bring all of that to you. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. Good morning, Uganda. You are watching UBC TV from Nile Avenue, and alongside me is Robert Chirabu Nyonyintono. Good morning, Robert.
A lovely morning to you, Julie, and of course, viewer, thank you very much for waking up with us. I love the color inside your jacket.
Oh, wow. Come on, Robert.
I just said I love the color inside your jacket.
By the time you say that, it means that there's a thing behind a thing. But
no, colors were there before anything.
I know.
We just clinged on what looked better for us.
I am not adding soup or any spices to that conversation, but what have you been looking at?
I also loved the facial expression while giving me a reply.
Interesting.
Well, the weekend was very interesting. For some of us who dare to take foot to Munyonyo and witness His Excellency, the NRM candidate, launch a song.
An album, a whole
album. Launch an album, sorry, not a song. Launch an album. And we believe this music will go a long way during campaigns because these songs have been translated into a number of local languages for Ugandans. And of course, knowing that Luwero is the maker of NRM, and that's where they're going to launch their campaigns, these are songs that the people of Luwero will really enjoy first before a number of Ugandans, most of those that want in Millennium. But also, the president coming out and promising funding to some of these creatives, these artists, was something very good, and some revelation regarding also Edilisa Musuza, how he's done a very good job, and commending him. You know, it's good when we thank people while they're still alive. Appreciating them and telling them thank you for the good work you've done. You've been able to do what some had not been able to do. But also knowing that we are entering yet another critical time. Let me tell you, Julie, and the Ugandans viewing us, elections have phases, and we can thank the Lord He's brought us safe thus far.
Right.
Now, the remaining part is the hardest. You know, nomination, identifying a candidate, those could have issues. But between today and January, when the campaigns are going to close, the campaign season is another trying moment that we go through. We have to call upon Ugandans to be very focused, to remain calm, desist from being exploited, more so you the youth, because people know you have the energies. So don't be exploited. What happens here, for you, they arrest you, you go to Chitalia Ruzira. Some of these were just driven and taken back home and spending nights with their families. So don't be used. But I also want to call upon the politicians. Let's not look for sympathy votes, though they matter so much. Let's not use violence as a campaign tool. But also to the security agencies. You know, you're not robots, our police. No, you're humans. And you have a sense of judgment. Use that sense of judgment.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business, it is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking, to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth, in the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's unique. Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
I know, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. If you started with us, thank you so much. If you're just joining in, you're welcome. This is Good Morning, Uganda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono, and together we are choosing to, no, you are choosing actually. You are the one choosing, not us. But we have an opportunity of bringing the show to you and accepting the fact that we are here to serve you as you start your day. Now, at this moment in time, we are looking at the National Resistance Movement Manifesto Launch 2026-2031. And this morning, let's have a look at the vision, priorities, accountability, and strategy of the NRM Manifesto 2026-2031. And to do that with us is Honorable Richard Todwong, the Secretary General of the NRM Party. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, Julian. Good morning, Robert.
Welcome back from the weekend. We saw you pull off serious dance moves.
Thank you. It was a very interesting moment. The musicians had a song for the national chairman of the party, and it was very lovely. We saw musicians from all over the country coming together on one stage and performing in recognition of the efforts that the president has done for Uganda and for them in particular, to their sector. So we are very grateful for that.
All right. Thank you indeed for joining us. Now, to be a part of the show, 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage. And Honorable, as we dig straight into it, this time around you are using the slogan, protecting the gains. What inspired this? And if at liberty, could you please share outline pointers of what the manifesto looks like?
Well, before that, our manifestos have been very intentional. From the time we became a political party up to now, if you follow the themes of the various manifestos we have sponsored, it speaks to our intentional journey towards securing the prosperity of Uganda and Africa, and towards securing strategic security for Uganda and Africa. And therefore we fit into that, because that is our hallmark vision as a party and as an organization. And so in the beginning we looked at Uganda before colonization, Uganda during colonization, and Uganda after independence, and then the Uganda that NRM found in 1986, which was completely broken country, completely down, and everything, the variables about the country were not something we can pride of. So NRM picked Uganda in 1986 from the bare minimum up to where it has reached, that we are now speaking about the gains and protecting the gains towards a qualitative leap. Now this speaks volume, because the gains were divided to many areas. Initially the biggest problem of Uganda was stability. And so peace and security, stability of the country, stability of human lives and properties, and securing the borders of the country was the most important thing that now enabled us to build on towards prosperity. After securing peace and stability, there was a need for infrastructural governance. We were in the areas of roads, in the areas of basic infrastructures, as you know, energy, schools, health centers, making sure that Ugandans are united, and that built us towards what we are now talking of, improving household income, that we become a social issue. Because having built the foundation, having built the infrastructure of governance, having built these infrastructures that we talked about, we now needed to move and make sure that households are productive and are participating in the economy. And that is the focus of the party, and we have been consistently building towards that. And because of that, by now our GDP has grown to a level of $66 million, and that is something that nobody can even dispute. And we have seen this over the years, and we are building on that gain. And so today we are launching a new manifesto which speaks on building, promoting the gains we have scored as we move towards a qualitative leap to the future.
Now, Honorable, how different is this manifesto from the previous? Because when you read a couple of about 2-3 manifestos of NRM, they usually seem more or less alike.
They seem alike because our policies build on each other. You cannot finish in one manifesto. You start and you keep improving as you move along, and that's why you see that maybe I can help you here understand that political parties by their nature are supposed to build their manifestos around factors of production, and these factors of production are land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, and knowledge. Now if you don't understand these factors of production, you may not hinge your manifesto on the needs of the people. Now the needs of the people are, do we have a land policy system? Do we have a production system? Do we have access to land? Do we have land tenure system which are known? Those are policies that matters of the party that should give assurance to the public. Do we have access to finances? Do we have affordable credit facilities around the countryside? Can we do business as citizens and have a cheap capital in the market? So all those access, the knowledge, accessibility to knowledge, is it compulsory, is it selective? Now when you look at that which we have defined in our manifesto and through the themes we have, in this manifesto we have about 5 thematical centers that we shall be speaking to later in the day. Now it speaks mainly to unpack human interests, to unpack what affects our society, and that is why NRM gains strength to keep guiding and mentoring Uganda, and we have built on from that. We are not a party which is built out of nothing. It is built out of a concrete foundation that we are keeping to improve.
Right. And now, Honorable, looking at the last 5 years, what lessons have you picked from the last 5 years that have informed the next 5 years according to your manifesto?
The beginning of the 5 years we are concluding, as you may recall, were years that were mixed with a lot of challenges from COVID-19. Remember the long-term lockdown we had? It affected our economy and it affected a lot of the promises that we have made to the people. But nevertheless, we picked up immediately after the COVID pandemic reduced. In terms of statistics, in terms of economic growth, we've steadily improved. The GDP, as I said, has improved. Life expectancy has improved. Literacy level has improved, and all those variables have improved. And therefore, we are going to speak on how we can consolidate this improvement going forward.
Honorable Todong, we've seen various political parties, including NRM, invest so much in this thing called the manifesto. Do research, put in money, organize big launches. But in your perspective, do Ugandans really vote basing on the manifesto, or there are other factors that determine?
There are 2 or 3 things in politics. Mm-hmm. There is what you stand in, which is the manifesto, and then the face that markets that manifesto, and then the mechanism of marketing the manifesto. And all this put together makes you understand that a manifesto is a social contract between the people and that particular organization. And if it's a social contract, the contract should be something that the people can buy in. And that is why NRM stands tall above all these other organizations, because we speak what the people want to hear, the interest of the people. And where they have issues, we also explain why we have not been able to address the particular concerns that they are raising. And so, yes, under multi-party political dispensation, it is about the party manifesto. Because in this, you are marketing ideas that are put together in an instrument called the manifesto. You're not marketing an individual, you're not marketing, but you're marketing the policies, the what. What are we supposed to do as a political party? What is the other organization promising to do? Then we take this to the voters, and they will decide, of these policies, we feel this one is much better, this one is much clearer, this one is... So that is how I believe, in a classical way, a manifesto should be examined. However, of course, along the way and that speaks also to the volume of the formation of political parties. After the Cold War, with the introduction of a neoliberal system, political parties deviated from the original norm of formation, that is based on the factors of production, as I said. Along the way, political parties were formed based on social gatherings, social interests, social identity, and petty issues. And because of that, many political parties became shallow, and they lost focus on the main key issues that they're supposed to focus at. Unfortunately, in Uganda, many of such parties have never realized that they're out of touch with the reality that people feel should be addressed. And for us as NRM, we are concentrating on those things. And that is why when we take our manifesto to the voters, we seem to be more credible and realistic compared to other political groups.
Right. Thank you very much, Honorable. Looking at what plans you've had over the years with the different manifestos, and looking into protecting the gains, what does the party plan have in plan to address issues like poverty, unemployment, corruption? Yes, we've seen that over the years efforts have been made with different innovations, just like in yoga, PDM, all in the name of fighting poverty. But moving forward in the name of protecting the gains, things like these are fought, but yet corruption still remains standing strong as one of the vices that are affecting the country. What plan does the manifesto hold for 2026-31 to deal with this?
We always say that governance is not a one-off. Governance is a process, and a process that keeps improving, because society by its nature grows and expands in terms of interests, in terms of characters, in terms of needs. And when it expands and grows, those other interests also do change. And they start with the improvement of education system. The literacy rate improves, life expectancy equality improves, and therefore because of that, the people demand for improved governance. And in this improved governance, the issue of accountability, issues of transparency, issues of inclusive governance and affordable livelihood comes in. And therefore, governance becomes a continuous effort to keep improving the needs of the people. And with that, definitely, you cannot say in this term we're going to end this, in this term, because you might end one thing and by ending it you are triggering another demand. You might, for example, say, yes, we have graduated and educated so many young people, but over the years we have seen the skills that the schools have been empowering our young people with might not necessarily be skills that the labor market requires. So NRM government is saying we have to improve our curriculum, we have to improve our system, educational system, to be able to train our children skills that are required in the labor market. And this improvement comes with the skilling, retooling, and improvement of the general economy to allow investors to come in so that these investors can absorb the skilled manpower we are training. So it's a combination of many things. And that's why we are saying governance is not a one-off. It's just a process. And this process we keep improving over the years and over time. With the increased level of urbanization, with the increased level of infrastructure development, with the increased level of production and productivity around the countryside, that is how we see the GDP level growing. We see settled population, production and productivity is enhanced, and then so we keep building on that. So for those who don't understand how systematic and intentional a country develops, they should understand the journey of NRM up to where we have reached.
Honorable, you said in multi-party dispensation it is the manifesto that candidates have to sell, and it is what you believe will canvass votes for the NRM as a party. But one thing that really at times bothers me is, why is it that your NRM candidates, when out there and campaigning, they don't talk of the manifesto? They talk about what they as individuals are going to do for the electorate. Why is the mismatch?
Civic education is required, and it is too soon for us to understand how parties work. We don't blame many people in Uganda. Even the voters themselves don't understand how they should vote under a multi-party political dispensation, because under multipartyism, it is not the interest of an individual, it is the interest of the party. Actually, in other in democracies, you vote the party, and then the party nominates who should represent them in a particular constituency. Now, of course, like I said earlier on, there is the candidate, there is the way of the policies that candidate stands for, and then the style of marketing that policy to the voters. Now, in the style of marketing the policy to the voters, many people have left the principal document, which is the manifesto, and have gone to market themselves as individual. And we have seen that, and it's a bit of a irony and a tragedy, but within NRM we keep improving by our constant meetings, retreats we conduct with the leaders to make them understand that the main agenda for you as a leader is the document called the manifesto for the party you believe in, that you should continue promoting, because you as an individual, you do not have that resource to do what you should be doing in your constituency. You don't have money to do roads, you don't have money to do hospitals, you don't have money to build schools, you don't have money to pay teachers and salaries and all that thing, to drill water in your... These promises are with the government. So you only need to explain your proximity to that government you support that would bring those services to your people. Unfortunately, many of them speaks about I. In multipartyism, the word I doesn't come. It is the party. And so it's about continuous mentorship and guidance of our leaders, which is something that we have been consistently doing as a party in NRM.
Right. Honorable, allow us get into some of the comments and views from those who are viewing the show. And we're starting off with someone called Berry, who says, thanks for the show. In Tungamo, some villages and towns do not have access to water and electricity. What exactly are you protecting? And someone else comes through and says, good morning, Julie and Uncle Bob, and greetings to the Secretary General. My question to him is that, can he briefly take us through their first priorities immediately his candidate is sworn in as president? And lastly, due to the fact that they have overstayed in power, people begin to look at them as old wine in new bottles every time we head for polls and expect less or nothing new. Same methods as same politicians. What are they going to do to win people's trust again? This is Cricket Derek Gagamel from Machindie, Luafu.
Thank you. The two questions are very important questions. The first one is from Ntungamo, that there are villages in Ntungamo without water, without electricity. That is true. Definitely, of the 72,000 villages in Uganda, you don't expect that you should have everything in all the villages at once. Like I said, governance intentional and consistency. You first design how your government is going to operate. We decentralized governance, and under decentralization, we brought on board the people's representatives through the councils, and then the budget is dispensed according to the various decentralized policies of government. And in that also there are ministerial interventions in various areas. The Minister of Water, Minister of Roads, Minister of Education, all that, they have intervention, and budgets are appropriated every quarter and every financial year. Now that is why the interlock between the leader that represents the people with the government is very important. That leader should be understanding the document called the manifesto of the party he believes in, because in that manifesto, the manifesto is aligned to the national development plans, to the Vision 2040, and it is aligned to the district development plans. And in that particular district, I'm sure those villages without water, those villages without bridges, those villages without electricity have been captured under the district development plan. So this plan is already in the district, and every time money is dispensed, pick interest and seeing what are the priorities of my local government in this financial year. Has my village been captured? Are the roads in my village been captured? Because that is how government works. We don't hear there is a village X without electricity, then we take electricity. It goes through systematic and consistent planning. Now, two, on the next question on we have been around and same script, same stories, therefore what is new? You know, to me, I would like to help that person to understand once again that we talked, for example, if I can make it very interesting, in Christianity we speak about Jesus coming back, going to heaven. We don't ask when, but the issue is have the faith that one time Jesus will come and there is heaven, and therefore we have to be praying every Sundays. I'm not saying that to cover up a few of the mistakes and the weaknesses that the system might be having, but over the years we have performed much better than what it has been, and indeed we still want to protect these gains and do much better in the areas of governance, in the areas of fighting corruption, in the areas of commitment to the details that concerns the citizens. And so someone speaks about longevity in power. It is what has brought the stability that this country needed. The longer you stay in power, the longer, the better the country becomes stable and concentrate in building wealth. Wealth is in families, wealth of the nation is built out of peace, stability, and consistency. Now, you don't want to be like an amateur who would like to come in one term goes. It's not about turn of leadership, it's about consistency in development. Where we have brought Uganda from, I'm sure for those who are old enough knows that NRM has done much, much better, and yet there is still a lot to do. And so that a lot to do is a process and the ways that we shall be improving. So please support NRM and make sure that you understand our trajectory towards total transformation of the country to get to the middle income status.
Now, Honorable Todong, you've talked about those that are old enough can understand where NRM has brought this country from. Now, in the manifesto, what plans do you have to capture the youth vote? Because majority of these never saw what you term as the bad days. They have woken up when they have been raised when mobile phones are around. They have never had a sound of the bullet. All the pains that all the gains, majority of these is something, you know, it's life. That is what life should be. That is what a government should do. And Robert, yet they are the majority of the Ugandans.
Robert, that's what I'm saying, for those who are old enough. In the past, it was not even about the youth unemployment, about income, in the past it was about preservation of life and properties. Citizens were running away from a government in place, which was hunting them like wild games. Now that is history. The next is that the NRM government has educated the manpower. Because you see, you demand for income, you demand for jobs, because you now are educated, you are healthy, the population has grown. And so if you are to unpack all those together, every policy speaks about the young person. The young person, once you are conceived by your parents, the party protects you. We advise your parents to go for antenatal. You are produced in a health center. You are vaccinated. You are kept well. You are protected from the harsh livelihood of the environment. After you have reached school going age, we put you in school. You are taken through the journey of education. All this is back for a young person. You studied, you have reached that period. Now you are looking for a job. So that's what I'm saying. Governance is intentional and consistent. We are saying, yes, you have been educated, you have reached now, you need a job. There are sectors that brings in jobs. The president has been explaining this extremely, very carefully, that the industrial sector, the services, ICT, and others. The 4 sectors. Now, these 4 sectors, and agriculture. These 4 sectors, if we are to enhance them, it can absorb all the needs that we have for the young people looking for jobs. Now, how do we absorb them? We need to maintain peace and stability in the country. For us to be able to attract investors, for the investors to bring more factories, for the factories to employ other people. 2, peace and stability, to be able to allow private sector to develop and bring services. Through services, our people can get jobs. Agriculture. The population is growing by the day, and the change in diet is improving. The population in towns feed on about 4 meals a day, and this demand for food to feed the nation, to have food reservatives in our homes, and to make sure that the expanding Great Lakes region have enough food, would call upon young people to go into agriculture. And we are very happy that we are seeing young graduates picking in agriculture, and then that is where life is, where the future is. So when you look at all this, the hallmark of all this is peace and stability of the country that can make private sector to flourish. And when we do this, we shall be absorbing young people. And we have also detected that for us to be able to help young people, we need to guide them into skilling and retooling so that they take advantage of the prevailing economic stability of the country. So it's a pack program.
Right. Thank you very much, Honorable Richard. And as we begin to bring this conversation to a close, this you should treat as a parting shot. Yes or no is the answer to this one. With the with the goal of protecting the gains moving forward, is there a plan still within the Manifesto 26-2031? Is there a plan that these protected gains shall be handed over to another to steward?
Because you are restricting my answers to a yes or a no, I'm just saying the party has a mechanism in addressing all those things, and definitely our vision and mission are consistently being implemented.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Richard Kodwong.
I wish you all the best and a happy day.
All right. Have a successful day as you launch the manifesto today. The manifesto shall be launched today at Munyonyo, and that will be the 2026-2031 manifesto, NRM manifesto. That has been the Secretary General of the NRM party, Honorable Richard Kodwong, speaking to us as we've been throwing a bit of light here and there into the manifesto, which shall be fully launched today, one that you should look forward to and dig deep into as you make that decision of who will be your next president. Up next is JMU Tourism Express. Good morning.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking, to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth, in the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the Africa.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Juko.
Yo.
What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
We're here reporting live from World Tourism Day in Arua, 27th of September. The whole world is celebrating, but the best celebrations ultimately that I have witnessed are right here in Arua City, where every tourism sector player, public, private, value chain players, they are all here to celebrate Uganda's milestones. Uganda is fast becoming one of the most premier destinations in Africa and in the globe. So really excited to be part of the celebrations of the milestones, but also recognizing people who have contributed to tourism over the last 20 years. All the heroes of tourism, people who have made our industry recover from pre-COVID to post-COVID, where we are today. So thank you very much, Uganda. Thank you, Arua City, for welcoming us in large numbers. We are having a good time. The celebration has just started. The Prime Minister is with us here today. Tonight, we celebrate in the night economy with Arua City. We have Cindy coming for a concert. We have a couple of other activities. The parks are open. All the parks north of the equator are open to you all, domestic, regional, and of course, foreign residents. Thank you very much.
The honorable ministers, the honorable members of parliament, distinguished leaders, representatives from the private sector, development partners, the tourism fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, let me now go to the speech of the President. Honorable ministers, members of parliament, distinguished guests, representatives from the private sector, development partners, the tourism fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure for me to be part of the World Tourism Day event in Arua City. I welcome our neighbors from the Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan and the entire West Nile. I appreciate the wonderful people of Arua City and all the neighboring regions for welcoming us and hosting us on this day as we celebrate and highlight tourism and sustainable transformation. Brothers and sisters from the Democratic Republic and South Sudan, your presence reminds us that tourism knows no boundaries. Arua's unique location as a gateway to two nations positions it as a powerful hub for cross-border trade, cultural exchange, and regional tourism. I believe that together we can build corridors of prosperity, a stronger force that can bind our people through commerce, travel, and shared experiences. I also acknowledge the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, its agencies, and all stakeholders for their tireless efforts in putting tourism firmly on the map of our national development agenda. Your dedication to marketing Uganda aggressively and innovatively, developing world-class products and showcasing our natural and cultural heritage is truly commendable. I wish to reiterate that for sustainable transformation to happen in the tourism sector, there is a lot that needs to be incorporated in your endeavors. This year's theme, tourism and sustainable transformation, is both timely and requires us to make drastic steps to ensure that we catch up with the rest of the world. Sustainable transformation of the tourism sector calls for the knowledge that tourism is not just about beautiful scenery, destinations, and memorable experiences. It is an engine of economic growth, a creator of jobs, and a catalyst for possible social change. To effect sustainable transformation, we therefore need to come up with innovations that can enhance the industry by putting up with creations that can suit the current technology advancements. With or without nature, tourism sites can be created and beautified. Uganda has been bountifully blessed by God, and this advantages us beyond other countries. Let us hold on the diversity of opportunities in order to master our might towards self-reliance and sustainable development. Globally, tourism accounts for approximately 7% of the world trade and ranks as the third largest export category, providing its power to transform economies. It is pleasing to note that after recovering to pre-pandemic levels in 2024, international tourism has continued its upward trend, growing at 5% in the first half of the year 2025, with almost 690 million tourists traveling internationally between January and June 2025, bringing tremendous economic benefits and placing Uganda in the international spotlight. Today, we also celebrate excellence in tourism. I warmly congratulate all recipients of the Tourism Recognition of Excellence Awards. Your hard work and creativity set the benchmark for our industry. As we celebrate our achievements, we must also confront the challenges of the climate change, deforestation, and pollution forces that threaten our ecological inheritance. Sustainable transformation calls on us to regenerate ecosystems, reduce carbon footprint, and ensure that the benefits of tourism reach women, youth, and local communities. Let us empower our youth, support women-led enterprises, and ensure that tourism remains a force for inclusion and prosperity. My friends, Uganda tourism potential is unmatched. From the snow-capped Rwenzoris to the mighty Nile, from the mountain gorillas to the rich cultural heritage of every region, our country is truly the pearl of Africa. But our inheritance is fragile. Let us protect it. Let us transform it. Let us use it to create wealth and opportunities for every Ugandan. Excuse me. Let me end by urging all Ugandans to value the peace and stability that NRM leadership has secured. It is the foundation of our progress and the guarantee of prosperity for everyone. Let us not leave everybody behind. Let us not leave anyone behind. I thank you. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Welcome back from a few of the feed that was from the World Tourism Day. But whoever was part of it over the weekend, welcome back. This is Good Morning Uganda on UBC TV. We come to you live from Now Avenue. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and we are starting off with boosting the lives of sex workers. Sex workers in Kampala Division are complaining over President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's recent initiative to form circles specifically for them. The women argue that similar government projects in the past have failed to directly benefit them. The concerns were raised during a community meeting organized by the Office of the Presidential Assistant on Service Delivery, YIGA Chisacha Mukama. The meeting in Kampala division was attended by sex workers from areas including Chisenyi, Katwe, Chibuye. While the initiative is aimed at improving their livelihoods through savings and credit cooperatives, the women say they have doubt in the system. The Presidential Assistant on Service Delivery, Yigachi Sacha Mukama, represented by Deputy Vincent Mujenyi, defended the initiative. The women also say many of them were former street vendors forced into sex work after losing their businesses due to KCCA enforcement. Deputy RCC for Kampala Central, Ali Shafiq Nsubuga, urged the women to prioritize their health. The government's plan to create sex workers circles will cover all 5 divisions in Kampala. Now moving on, in a bid to strengthen Uganda's fight against climate change and promote sustainable environmental conservation, a high-level training has been conducted for district environmental officers in Fort Portal. The initiative, spearheaded by the Environment for Development Uganda, focuses on environmental valuation, evaluation, accounting, and climate change mitigation and adaptation. And finally, before we look at what we have in the forex rates, we do have farmers in eastern Uganda who will benefit from the enhancing access to markets and agricultural transformation projects aimed at equipping grain producers in the Sebei, Busoga and Bugisu regions with modern machinery to boost productivity and improve food security. The project is implemented by Kilimo Trust and is funded by Alliance for Green Revolution Africa from now till 2027. In Busoga region, farmers cooperatives such as Ndifakulia Farmers Cooperative and Bulamagi Maize Farmers Cooperative have received bean threshers and maize milling machines respectively. The project not only provides equipment but also empowers farmers with life-saving knowledge on aflatoxin control and post-harvest loss management, as explained by project team leader Diana Nakubulwa. Distribution of the machines was based on needs assessment, with each region receiving equipment tailored to its priority crops. In Bugisu, for example, the Busoga Seed Producers Organization received a solar dryer to help them dry rice and other grains more quickly and safely, while the Buenkanda oil seed producers were given a maize sheller. Well, that wraps it from what we have in the world of business. But before we say goodbye to it, let's have a look at what we have. And the forex rates as of 26th September 2025, the US dollar opened at 3,489.95 and sold at 3,499.95. By midday, it had dropped to 3,489.86 and was selling at 3,499.86, and it closed in at a drop of 3,487.00 and selling at 3,497.00. The British pound was buying at 4,657.58 and selling at 4,670.94. The euro bought at 4,073.51 and selling at 4,085.19, and the Kenyan shilling was buying at 26.97 and selling at 27.05. The Tanzanian shilling buying at 1.42 and selling at the same, and the South African rand was buying at 200.00 and selling at 200.58. And that is what the forex rates looked like as the end of last week, 26th September 2025. Looking forward to what this week has in store for us, and that will be in another update tomorrow with business news at GNU. Right now, it's the agenda that is coming up next, and this time around we are looking at social entrepreneurship and basically looking at it as a driver for inclusion, climate action and sustainability. 0709 602 592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage and be a part of the conversation. Very important one at that. Good morning, Uganda does continue.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning. Eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here. In the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's what you feel in the gentle caress of tropical wind from the mountaintops. And the glow in your heart from a warm neighborly invite. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking to the taste of food that takes you on a journey. In the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. This is Good Morning Uganda. And like I had shared earlier, we are having a conversation on social entrepreneurship, a driver for inclusion, climate action and sustainability. 0709-602-592 is the WhatsApp number that you should join. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. I almost said my name as a number, but really my name is Julie F. Nantaba. And this morning is availing us an opportunity to explore innovation, impact and business solutions to the real world and its problems as they come. And indeed, all of that can only be looked at through the vehicle of social entrepreneurship. Now, to do that with us is Dr. Joyce Tamale, who is the co-founder and CEO of Capital Solutions Limited, and Jude Chigozi, who is the managing director, Look Solar Limited. Good morning, Jude. Good morning, Dr. Joyce.
Good morning to you, Julie. Oh, good morning, Julie.
Right. Thank you so much to the both of you for sparing that time to come and have important discussions with us. And I'll start with, to each one of you indeed, but starting with June, who is my immediate neighbor. Briefly tell us what Look Solar Limited is about, what it does, and how it connects to social entrepreneurship.
Yes, thank you very much, Julie. It's a pleasure indeed to be here, to have you. I'll start with myself, just to tell you about myself, then I can tell you about Look Solar.
Right.
I am personally, my name is Jude Chigozi. I'm a passionate advocate for social impact and sustainable energy. They match together. So I like working with and supporting people who are about change and positive change in our community. I like working with systems, organizations, and people who are for this kind of work, which is social impact. I'm part of a team that is dedicated to bringing solar energy in Uganda. That is Look Solar. And Look Solar is a leading last mile distributor of three things: low cost, high quality, yet affordable solar solutions in Uganda. We want to leave no one behind, and I'm privileged to be part of this team, and I'm also excited to share here with you. That's briefly about me.
Right, over to you, Dr. Joyce.
Thank you very much, Julie, and dear viewers. My name's Tamale Joyce. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Capital Solutions Limited, which is a social enterprise ecosystem builder, and that started in 2014. Extremely passionate about inspiring, transforming, and building social entrepreneurs in Africa. This has been a journey that I'm passionate about. The reason why Capital Solutions has decided to move around social entrepreneurship and engage Ugandans and Africans to build strong social enterprises is because I am personally inspired seeing extraordinary ideas becoming big businesses to be able to build sustainability within our communities.
Right, and staying with you, Dr. Joyce, what inspired you to venture into social entrepreneurship rather than the traditional business as easy or as normal as we know it? What really inspired you to focus on social entrepreneurship?
Interestingly, you see, social entrepreneurship is one of those business models that is more sustainable. And personally, I have worked with the NGO sector for over 20 years. And within the NGO sector, 99% of the funding is grants. And you're getting grants to be able to solve community problems. But gone are the days when you just sit back and get grants and they are able to move your agenda within the communities. So for many years, about 15 years back, the NGOs I worked with, we started cultivating how do we solve the community problems more sustainable. And that is when I got more time to be involved, to appreciate social entrepreneurship and as a business model that would actually be able to design an innovative business model that is profitable and at the same time can solve the complex community problems. And that's what personally I was inspired, having run and worked with some of the reputable NGOs that have been able to use social entrepreneurship to solve complex problems using sustainable business models. And that is why personally I wake up every day. To date, I have supported 625 social enterprises to form and be able to move, including Look Solar.
Right. Yeah. And indeed, now let's turn the ball to you, Jude. What inspires you to focus on social entrepreneurship?
Yes. So first of all, I am also privileged to be the vice chair. I deputize her, the vice chair of the Social Entrepreneurship Association.
Right.
It's a great privilege. And what inspires me to do what I do, it's now close to 4 years I'm in this kind of role, is to serve. First of all, I'm motivated by what makes me wake up and what inspires me. I was motivated by my father. My father started Look Solar. He was about eradicating energy poverty. I think he didn't subconsciously know what he was doing by then, but to me the big term was eradicating energy poverty. At the Social Entrepreneurship Association, I'm moved to work because it resonates directly with what we are trying to do. At the end of the day, what we are trying to do is to see that we put smiles back to those who have lost hope due to energy poverty. I have seen people, this morning I was talking to my wife, she's a doctor, and she was saying, sometimes she comes home with a mood, sometimes she comes home happy. When she comes home happy, then you know that there is a patient who has taken hard medicine and the patient is healing. To me, what makes me wake up is when I see somebody who had lost hope because they don't have light in their home, and now they are happy, and then I have more people around me like the Social Enterprise Entrepreneurship Forum doing the same. That keeps me going because I feel like it's a community being built to see that more lives are becoming better. We are putting smiles on people's faces every day. It's really fun, Julie, to see these smiles.
I totally agree with you on passion-based and initiatives that have purpose behind them. We'll dig into that conversation if time allows, because it's one area I'm passionate about as well, doing passion-based things that add value. And as UBC, we make sure that we stay with the vision to inspire you. Coming to you, Dr. Joyce, the theme in today's discussion really is reshaping the future and looking at social entrepreneurship, inclusion, and climate action. Now, in your perspective, in your view, how can social entrepreneurship be a key driver for all this change to make sense?
Okay. Thank you very much again, Julie. This year's theme, the 5th Annual Social Entrepreneurship Symposium, which is looking at reshaping the future and with social entrepreneurship, including